Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to get down to 10% body fat? No, not the Instagram highlight reel, not the overnight scam programs, but the actual real process. Here's the truth. It's not about starving yourself. It's not about spending hours at the gym or doing endless cardio. And I've been there, I've made mistakes, hit the plateaus, and I've learned exactly what works. In this video, I'm gonna break down the exact steps I follow to hit 10% body fat, stay lean, and feel incredible without losing my sanity or my social life. So if you're actually serious about leveling up in 2025, this is your blueprint. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Rich Biker, and I help men over 30 ditch their belly fat, build muscle, and transform their bodies with simple strategies that actually work. Now, today, I'm going to share with you how I got to 10% body fat, how you can do it as well in 2025, and I'm going to walk you through 5 simple proven steps that help me drop that starving belly fat, stay lean, and feel amazing all year round. Now, this isn't about quick fixes or crash diets. It's about building sustainable habits, dialing your nutrition, optimizing your workouts, and making those small changes that actually lead those big results. Now, if you've ever struggled with belly fat or the thought of getting to 10% body fat was impossible, just stick with me in this video because these 5 steps will give you a clear, realistic blueprint to make it happen in 2025. So let's dive into it right now. Step number 1 for what I do to get 10% body fat is have higher calorie days. All right, let's talk about one of the most underrated strategies for getting lean without actually losing your mind. Give yourself 2 higher calorie days per week. Now, here's the thing. Most people think fat loss is about eating as little as possible every single day, but that's a recipe for a burnout. By intentionally incorporating higher calorie days, you can actually stay consistent, avoid feeling restricted, and keep your metabolism going well 365 days a year. Now, this strategy isn't about cheat days or going off the rails. It's about planning these higher calorie days into a week that supports your goals while giving you something to look forward to each and every single week. Now, let me explain how exactly I structure this and why it's such a game changer. So what I do for myself, I'm a Bills fan, so I watch football every Sunday. I'll typically go 1 higher calorie day on Sunday and 1 on Saturday. And to compensate, I'll actually lower 5 calories during the week to make sure I don't go over my calorie budget. Now, think of it this way. Let's say you had $700 to spend for a week. $700, that's your what shopping, right? But you can't go over $700 no matter what you do. You can choose to spend $100 every single day, for 7 days a week, which matches $700 total. Or let's say you want to have like a couple higher purchase days. Let's say you want to shop $200 on Saturday, $200 on Sunday. You have $300 to spend for the other 5 days of the week. As long as you don't go over that budget, you're fine. It's the exact same thing with calories. If you can just kind of plan in those 1 or 2 higher calorie days and the other days you just kind of lower down a little bit to compensate for that, then you have absolutely nothing to worry about. And I guarantee you're still gonna lose fat. And I do this, I'm obviously a living example of this. Now, if you're new to this, what I recommend, I do 2 times a week myself. So 2 higher calorie days and then 5 lower calorie days. What I recommend if you're new to this, set up 1 higher calorie day for now, and then the other 6 days you can kind of compensate for that and just go a little bit lower. That way it's not as drastic and you get used to it. And then once you get the experience, introduce those 1 or 2 higher calorie days, and you can really start focusing on losing fat, feeling sustainable, and it doesn't really feel like a diet because you just simply have those foods you love. It's all part of a weekly structure. So that's the very first thing I do to get 10% body fat is I have those 2 higher calorie days. But for yourself, if you're not used to it, start with 1 and then you work your way up to 2. Step number 2, let's talk about the backbone of my fat loss strategy, lifting weights 5 times per week for 45 minutes per session, and that's all it is. Now, I know some people think getting lean is all about doing endless cardio, but it's actually not the case. Strength training is going to give you the key to burning fat while maintaining muscle, which is what gives you that lean, athletic look. Because remember, we want fat loss, not weight loss. So by sticking to shorter and focused sessions, I'm actually able to stay consistent without spending so much time in the gym. It's a routine that kind of fits my busy schedule while giving me great results. And I'm going to tell you why this approach works so well for you and why you should be focusing more on strength training for fat loss opposed to cardio. So to give you an analogy right now, so let's say you're doing a task at work. You got a couple projects at work, but you're doing just a task that really doesn't move the needle that much. But there's a big task that you're just not doing. Well, the big task that you're not doing is the strength training, and the task that you're probably spending a lot of time on is cardio, which is the task that's not really moving the needle. Because here's the thing, and I've said this before in all my videos, cardio only makes up 5 to 10% of how many calories we burn in a given day. So if you're just kind of focusing on that small task, and you're neglecting maintaining your muscle while you drop fat with nutrition and walking and stuff like that, then you're just kind of missing the boat and you're just focusing on that small percentage of the equation. If you focus on maintaining muscle while losing fat, that's the key to fat loss, not weight loss. And like I said, you're gonna have that lean, athletic look. Now, if you can work out 5 times per week, what I recommend, even do 3 to 4, that's fine. 45 minutes is all you need, quality for quantity. If you're doing a lot of cardio, hit burnout, I promise you, if you make that change to more strength training 4 to 5 times per week, It's an absolute game changer, not even for short term, but for long-term fat loss. The third thing I do to get down to 10% body fat and stay there all year round is I walk 12 to 15,000 steps per day. I know it's a lot. I know it's not glamorous. I know it's not sexy to do, but believe me, this stuff works, especially if you couple it with strength training. Now, if you can't get up to 12 to 15,000 steps per day right away, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's say you're at like 6,000. Try to get 8 to 10 and maybe slowly get there the best you can. But believe me, walking is an absolute game changer for you. And I know it's not exactly fun to do. And maybe you're like, I hate walking, especially if you're in a cold climate like myself. Like I'm in Canada. So, it's snowing obviously a lot of time of the year. So a bit of a tip you can do if you just can't stand the thought of walking is try to find a podcast you really enjoy. Because like I actually look forward to my walks. Even though it's like minus 20 outside sometimes. Like I listen to my Bills podcast, I listen to whatever it may be, some business podcasts. I look forward to the walks no matter how crap the weather is because I have that podcast to look forward to. So whether it's like music or a podcast, whatever it may be, whatever can motivate you to kind of get more steps in, believe me, walking's gonna help you so much. You couple that with strength training and nutrition, it's like a cheat code for fat loss. So you do those 3 things and I guarantee you're well on your way to 10 to 50%. That's my top 3 right here. We got 2 more to get into. The 4th thing I do to get down to 10% body fat is I have 30 grams of protein every single meal. And you might be thinking like, why? Why protein? Why is it so important? Why do coaches always talk about so much protein? Think of protein as like the bricks for building a house. If you don't have enough bricks, you can't build a solid structure. And your body works the exact same way. Protein provides materials your muscles need to repair, grow, and actually stay strong as you lose fat. Because remember, when you lose fat, you want to make sure you maintain your muscle, not just losing like a shitload of weight. So without enough, you're essentially trying to build a house with essentially no supplies. So kind of think of it that way when it comes to protein with that house example. So by aiming by 30 grams per meal, I just make sure my body has what it needs to preserve muscle, stay full, and burn more calories by just simply digesting it, something called the thermic effect of food. I'm not going to get into that for today, but I'm going to tell you now how I consistently do it and why it's such a game changer for you. So breakfast, what I have basically, it's super simple. I just have oatmeal mixed with a protein scoop. So right there, it's like 34 grams. So protein scoop mixed with protein, blended in 34 grams right there. That's 30 plus grams. For lunch, I have 2 chicken burgers without on the buns. It's about 4 to 50 calories, but it's 4 grams of protein. It doesn't taste great, but you get a little hot sauce on it. It's not horrible. You can live with it. So that's just like a second meal I do. And the third thing I do in terms of the evening, I usually have like chicken fajita with a salad and some potatoes. And that's about 35 to 40 grams, depending on how big the chicken breast is. So those are my 3 meals right there. And that's like basically adds up to roughly about 110, 120. And then something that you can do for like a simple snack as well. You either can just add another like a protein shake for yourself, or you can have like Greek yogurt with like a protein chocolate milk, whatever kind of floats your boat. But if you just have like 3 meals of like 30 grams plus per day, you add in like a high protein snack. And then right there, you're talking like 120, 130, 140 grams, not to even mention some of the other things you're kind of maybe picking away at. So make sure you prioritize protein, and the easiest way to get that 0.8 times body weight in pounds, so like weight 200 pounds, you want to aim for about 106 grams of protein, is make sure you have those 30 grams per meal every single day. This is what I do. It's a game changer. It's simple. And I promise you, if you incorporate this into your routine, you're going to see better results going forward and to dominate 2025. Let's get into our last step right now, step number 5. All right, the last step, and probably the most underrated step out there, is I focus on simplicity. And this is where so many people actually get it wrong. So when it comes to fat loss, I don't stress about carb versus fat ratios. I don't stress about gimmicky diets like keto. I don't do things like fasted cardio. Why? Because those details don't nearly matter as much as the consistency and those big picture habits. Think of it like this. If you're trying to climb a mountain, you're not going to waste debating which shoes are perfect to climb the mountain, right? You're probably just going to start climbing. If you overcomplicate your approach, it actually leaves you stuck, frustrated, and spinning your wheels. Because how many times have you just kind of done things like you got your MyFitnessPal out, you're trying to calculate carbs, fats, maybe you just heard fasted carbs is the next best thing, maybe you're trying doing keto, but you just can't sustain it. That's just like complicated stuff that's just not gonna last long term. If you just gotta focus on total calories, protein, getting your workouts in, getting your steps in, and to focus on simplicity, what I'm telling you right here, not stress about those things, then that is gonna be your key to getting down to 10% body fat. And like I said, if you don't even get down to 10%, 10 to 15% body fat, depending on how extreme you want to do it. I promise you guys, it's a lot easier than you think if you just focus on these things I talked about today and not overcomplicate things and just keep it super simple that fits your lifestyle and something that you can sustain, then there's your answer right there. Because if you're doing like high intensity workouts, spending tons of time in the gym, you're trying to do some diet you can't sustain, you're calculating carbs, fats, and it's like a math equation every single time, then it's probably just going to leave you burnt out, leaving frustrated, because you can do it for a little bit, but you're probably just not going to be able to do it for the long haul. So simplify the best you can. So to recap today, quick little recap, and I got an awesome free resource for you at the end that I'm going to link in the comments. So step number one, remember, you're going to give yourself 1 or 2 higher calorie days for the weeks so you don't feel restricted. Again, if you've never done it before, I'd recommend starting with 1. So maybe take a Saturday, you want to go with your family, your friends, have that 1 higher calorie day and just lower the other 6 days to compensate. I got videos on that kind of tells you how to set that calories up. So just make sure to watch one of those if you want more info on those. The second thing you want to do is lift weights 5 times per week for 45-minute sessions. And if you can't do 5 times per week, just do 3 to 4. That's fine. You can always build up to 5 depending on how extreme you want to take it. And if you want to know how to set your workouts, I'll link it in the comments below, and you can grab a free week in terms of like what to do, how to set up, and everything like that. So I'll link that in the comments below for you. The third thing you want to do, you want to walk. This is at least what I do. I walk 12 to 15,000 steps per day. If that's too high of a number, try to get at least 10 if you can. The fourth thing, very important, is obviously protein. So make sure you get at least 30 grams of protein each meal. It's not like absolutely necessary. If you get like 28, 25, it's not the end of the world, but it just makes getting your protein a lot easier to do. And if you just have those 30 grams each of every single meal, you add in a higher calorie snack. The next thing you know, you're 150 grams just like that. And the last thing you need to do, which I just kind of talked about, is you need to focus on that simplicity. Don't overcomplicate things. It's not about fasted cardio, gimmick diets, starving yourself, nothing like that. Keep it simple so that you can sustain for the rest of your life, because if you can't, then it's not worth pursuing. Because like myself, sometimes people ask me like, do you want to compete, or would you ever compete? And I say no, because like I don't want to get down to like 7-8% body fat. It's just not enjoyable for me, and I would rather alter my lifestyle. Like I still want to go out on the weekends. I want to have my drinks. I want to have my pizza, and I want to maintain a nice balance between work and play, I guess you could say. Work in this case, obviously being fitness. So I'm gonna link, guys, a document for you below in terms of how you set your workouts up. If you want any other documents, just in terms of like protein or how to structure the weekend warrior, you have a blueprint for that, just comment below and I can just send it over to you. I'll just link it to you. And that's 100% all good as well. So whatever document you want, whatever you need help with, let me know and I'll hook you up in the comments below. Thanks for sticking out this long. We'll talk soon, guys. We'll see you in the next video.